Hi everybody, it's good to see you. I hope yous are well. Won't you pull you up a chair and set a spell while we talk about a forgotten Appalachian town called Lovely City, Tennessee. A town made by whiskey, destroyed by prohibition. The town was nestled in the mountains of Tennessee on the south bank of the Cold Creek. It had an old mill where clear, cold, limestone spring water flowed from the foot of the bluffs. The town had 6 homes, a school, post office, distillery, and a saloon inside the town limits. Of course, there were more homes and buildings that were close by. Well, the owner of that old water mill was George Lovely. He was the one responsible for turning the little community into an incorporated town. See, old George lived in Pennsylvania where he ran a tannery. He caught wind of an easy way to make money in the mountains of Appalachia. He could make Tennessee whiskey in the mountains of Tennessee, selling it to the old coal miners who had a thirst to quench. So he moved to the little community there on that Cold Creek. In the meantime, to make some money, he bought the water mill. There, he found out he could sell legal whiskey. He just needed a license. That would be easy. Well, not so much. You could only get a license if you had a distillery inside the city limits of an incorporated town. The little community wasn't incorporated. So old George, he cooked up a scheme to incorporate the town. So he went to each neighbor telling them of his plans to make that old community into an incorporated town. He even ran an ad in the newspaper telling his plan to incorporate the town. So he went to the Chancey Courthouse in Anderson County and filed a petition. Later that week, June 8th, 1897, there was a vote taken. The 17 voters of the community passed a petition. On June 21st, Secretary of State signed the charter, and Lovely City officially became a town. Well, now that Mr. Lovely's mill was right in the center of town, he got his permit and turned that old mill into a top-notch distillery. And since old George had the idea to incorporate the town, the whole place voted him the mayor. And George and a few men, they went to work to run that operation. The Lovely Mill was a perfect location. That cool spring limestone water made the best mash, and the surrounding woods fired to steel. George even had a federal inspector and tax collector right on site The man would collect the tax and stamp each barrel before shipping it out. Each was registered distillery number 200, 2nd District, Tennessee. The men loaded that fine product on wagons bound for Coal Creek, where it would be boarded on the L&N train headed for Louisville, Kentucky. There it would be aged, bottled, and given its log cabin label. It came right out of the still at 110 to 115 proof. The city folks, they couldn't handle it, so they cut it down to 100 proof. Lovely sold his brew for $1.50 a barrel. Most of his whiskey was sent to Louisville and Cincinnati, Ohio. Also, they sold at the local tavern called Cornell and Fur's Barroom for 10 cents a shot. At full production, Old Lovely made 33 gallons of the finest pure Tennessee whiskey a day. For each bushel of corn, he got 3 gallons of whiskey. His operation flourished for a long while, but a government put an end to it. The law to incorporate a town changed. You had to have 1,000 townsfolks to even be considered for incorporating a town. The new changes overrode the law. Nationwide prohibition was the final nail that closed the coffin for George Lovely. His operation was shut down, and Lovely City went into a downfall. Folks moved away to the big city, to the good paying jobs. The old folks died off, and Lovely City was forgotten. Folks, I want to thank you for sitting with me today as I shared the history of that old Lovely City, Tennessee. Now, all that remains of that old place was where the spring was that fed the mill, the Lovely Branch, and the Lovely Road. That's about it. And I sure do appreciate you sitting and listening to me today. I love you to pieces, and we'll see you next time.